It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with this Nigerian newspaper. The major story here says, there is gang up against Tinubu within Aso Rock. El-Rufai throws some missiles. Federal government, we won't work for or against any candidate. All right, you find all the details on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. And to the first newspaper now, it says 2023, El-Rufai exposes Aso Rock Elements, plotting to scuttle Tinubu's victory. We are not aware Buhari committed to free, fair elections, says federal government. The details on the front page of the first newspaper. And to the blueprint now, it says February the 25th poll, federal government, El-Rufai differ on support for Tinubu. Some elements in Villa working against APC candidate Kaduna governor. We are not aware president committed to free, fair polls. Lai Mohammed. Mike.
All right, the Nation newspaper is the next one we're looking at now. And it says El-Rufai, elements in government working against Tinubu. Right? Elements in government working against Tinubu. That's what El-Rufai says. And it's on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Daily Sun is next. Governor El-Rufai's allegation of sabotage sparks fear in APC. Governor El-Rufai's allegation of sabotage sparks fear in APC. Party leaders express apprehension as presidency denies working against any candidate. Okay, that's what the Daily Sun has. Daily Trust is next, and it says, Naira scarcity, hardship lingers as businesses travel suffer. Online transactions fail, chaos at banks, customers fight. Okay, I believe you've seen all the viral videos and pictures all over the place. All right, hardship lingers as businesses travel suffer. That's what you see on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Leadership is next, and is saying on Naira swap, bank chiefs challenge CBN on quantity of new notes. Bank chiefs challenge CBN on quantity of new notes as Nigerians lament cash crunch. NLC blames corruption, systemic failure for scarcity. All right. We have been saying, CBN, come up with the actual number of what you have given, amount you have given to the banks, and let us know, let Nigerians know, so we get to know where the challenge is. The Punch newspaper is next. Punch says, new Naira scarcity, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina border residents trade in CFAs as a CFA, right? New Naira scarcity, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina border residents trade in CFA. And that's customers without new Naira notes must pay in CFA. Traders insist, all right? Banking halls empty. LCCI says Naira swap poor, affecting businesses. And ICPC arrests currency hawker. Angry youths protest in Ekiti Delta. All right, that's what you see on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Nigerian News Direct is next and is focusing on road projects. Road projects. Federal government approves tolling of federal highways. Federal government approves tolling of federal highways to refund 9.6 billion naira to Plateau and Borno states. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. Let's go to Business Day. And that's the last one we're looking at. Now, blame is new petrol as NNPC oil marketers overwhelmed. Blame is new petrol as NNPC oil marketers overwhelmed. That's what you see on the front page of Business Day. Veronica?
All right, Mike, let's quickly look at this story that has been generating a lot of reaction, even from the federal government, talking about Governor of Kaduna State statement yesterday when he said that elements who are aggrieved that their candidates did not, come out successful in the party's primary are aggrieved. And they are the ones working against the APC's presidential candidate, so to speak. And that has been generating reactions even from the federal government. We saw Lai Mohammed, the minister, saying that they are not officially aware that the president is committed to a free, fair, and credible elections, which every Nigerian has had the president talk about. It seems that the matter of the primary has not been laid to rest as it is, because the governor of Kaduna State is not the only person. We even heard the presidential candidate in Ogun State speak about fifth columnist, working against, the progress of the party with regards to the election, especially when we see the fuel scarcity and the redesign notes how things are. I wonder what you make of this.
No, the point there is, you see, when some of these political incidences that happen at a time, sometimes they don't just leave. They linger for some time. And people who don't feel comfortable with them, when the time comes for them to either pay back or react, or even strike anyone, they do it. Sometimes you don't have the opportunity yet. All right, now it is their word against each other for now. We don't have any evidence to whether they are working is true, they are working against, or no, they are in support of the APC presidential candidate. We can't get all that right now. But what we know is that they are not all on the same page.
That's what this is about.
That's for now, at least we know that. They're not on the same page. And this is one political party that we are supposed to see everybody, including the president, including the presidency, everyone being on the same page. Going, some are going here. We recall under President Olusegun Obasanjo, we saw how when he was handing over, when his tenure was rounding off, we saw how he was all out for the party, for the presidential candidate of his party. So that's what Nigerians expect, because Nigerians have not been opportune to see that so many times. Recall from independence, there hasn't been. The coup came in 1966. It didn't give opportunity for the prime minister and the president at that time to hand over to a new government. So we didn't see all that activity. In 1979, we also didn't see, also in 1983, we also didn't see that opportunity.
Yes.
In 1993, it didn't even happen. Then the only time we saw that was in 2007. When one government was handing over to another government, and you saw how the president was involved. We didn't see that under Yar'Adua because of what happened.
Yeah.
We didn't see that under Jonathan because of what happened. So the only time now is now. So an average Nigerian who is watching the precedents and all of the trajectory of politics in Nigeria is saying, there's something maybe not right here, because the only time we have witnessed this was in 2007. The president is supposed to be all out. If the candidate is in Akwa Ibom, it is possible the president is in Zamfara, or whatever the thing is, or maybe they're even together. But of course, we have heard presidential officials say that, of course, there are state matters that the president has to attend to,
because he was in Bauchi.
Yeah, which we understand. Which we understand. But for anything that makes the candidate of the party feel unsatisfied with the endorsement and the support of whatever of the government of the day, then there's something wrong. There's a vacuum somewhere, either in communication or in deed. So these are the things that has to be checked, because that support, that feeling, remember we often talk about justice done and justice seen to have been done. That seen to have been done is most important.
Is the major issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The moment you feel that, no, this thing is, whether the person is there or not, you know that I have 100% unalloyed support of the president or the government, as the case may be, there won't be any problem. But the moment they don't feel that, then they have the right to say, there are some elements within the system working against
not necessarily the president.
Of course. There's a difference between the president and the presidency.
Right. I need that to point out because of the analysis, so that people wouldn't read a different meaning to what you're saying.
So when they say the presidency, it doesn't refer to the president necessarily.
Yeah.
Right? Because the presidency, there's a lot that make up the presidency in the context to which we refer to it. Good. So when they are saying certain elements or certain cabals, all of these ones are semantical representation of what the presidency could be. It may not necessarily be the president. In fact, we have often been blessed. We have been blessed so many times by having presidents that are perfect gentlemen in their own respects. The only person who may not be a gentleman in that context was President Olusegun Obasanjo, who wants to oversee everything by himself.
Right.
And he wants to take responsibility for everything by himself. Otherwise, if it was late Yaradua, he was a perfect gentleman. Anybody who knows him personally could attest to that.
And even
Former President Goodluck Jonathan was that kind of a person too, a gentleman who means well. We also know the antecedents of President Buhari. Everybody who knows him on one-on-one knows he's just a perfect gentleman. But the point there is that the elements around are what the challenge is. We knew what happened during the primaries. Now, if Governor El-Rufai is making reference to that, we all knew what happened at that time, where some persons came to say that, oh, the presidency has endorsed a candidate and there was going to be consensus, as the case may be. We all saw what happened until the build-up to the primaries. So if Governor El-Rufai is saying that some people have not gotten over what happened in the primaries, as the case may be, of course, a sitting governor, they have access to intelligence. They have their sources. So you cannot say that...
cannot just be speaking,
exactly. He may not be speaking just out of what he just hears them say. Exactly. He would have had some one or two information from here and there.
Right.
So all of those things are there. And if it is anything to go by, then it doesn't tell well of the ruling party, because it creates a feeling or impression that there's division within the ruling party. And if that is the case, where you have opposition waiting to take over, as the case may be, or waiting to lash in on all of those opportunities, that is not a good way to go.
Because I am concerned because the presidential candidate of the party had actually gone around to speak with every other person after the primaries. So it means they were not pacified at the end of the day, looking at what the governor of Kaduna State is saying.
Yeah, the point there is the movement round, because of all the presidential candidates now, the APC presidential candidate was actually the one who went round all of those who contested with him. He went round all of them, visiting them in their homes, in their locations, to say, let us work together, let us work together, let us work together.
But it seems...
Well, let us wait to see
how things pan out in the coming days.
The outcomes of this whole thing. Exactly.
All right.